Good morning to everyone. Good evening. Good to see Annie Sutrim enjoying her coffee. Good morning to everyone. Good evening. Oh, we have the same mug this morning even. Look. Somehow we know we're not using our Mexican mug today. So this is day 9th of our 16-day practice. So today is the Saturday, so it'll be a little bit longer than usual. So let's go straight to page 4. Yeah. In the space before me, I envision the Buddha, the Lord of Sages, surrounded by unfathomable root and lineage gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas. Dungi namga domba dube wambola kur sajuki lama dan sanje chansen padu mebe kurne shubar so. Antonio?
I and all modern sentient beings, extensive as space, take refuge in the root and lineage gurus. We take refuge in perfect Buddhas, the transcendent conquerors. We take refuge in the holy Dharma, free from attachment and peaceful Nirvana. We take refuge in the noble assembly of Bodhisattvas endowed with realization and liberation.
다단 조바 마르게 남게 다단 냠베 semjen 탐제 자와 당 규베 라마 남라 겹수 주오 소베 산제 좀 덴데 남라 겹수 주오 시와 차자 담베 주 남라 겹수 주오 리트로 니덴 겨세 파베 소 남라 겹수 주오 다단 조바 마르게 남게 다다 냠베 센첸 탐제 자와당 규베 라마 남라 겹수 주워 소베 산제 좀 덴데 남라 겹수 주워 시와 짜자 담베 주 남라 겹수 주워 리도 니덴 겹세 바베 초 남라 겹수 주워 다다 로와 머겨 남게 다다 냠베 센첸 탐제 자와당 규베 라마 남라 겹수 주워 소베 산제 좀 덴데 남라 겹수 주워 시와 짜려 담베 조 남라 겹수 주워 리도 니딘 겹세 파베 소 남라 겹수 주워. Sandra?
May all sentient beings who have not realized that a self and all appearances are by nature Dharma Dhatu have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness which is free from suffering. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
다다 나와 탐제 저기 인기 란신 인팔라 대 타르마 토베 샘제 탐제 대와 당 대외 규단 덴버러 규지 동양 당 동양기 규단 저와 규지 동양 매베 대와 탐메 저와 규지 내랭 타다 니단 저외 당뇨라 네버러 규지 다다 나와 wa tam che ju gi yin gi ran shin yin pa la de ta ma to pe sem chen tam che de wa dang de we gyu dan dan bar gyu ji tung yao tang tung yao gi gyu dan zhe wa gyu ji tung yao me pe de wa dang me zhe wa gyu ji ne ling cha dan ni dang zhe we dang nyang la ne bar gyu ji da dang nang wa tam che ju gi yin gi ran shin yin pa la de ta ma to pe sem chen tam che de wa dang Dewe gyudan tempara gyurji, tungyao tang tungyao gi, gyudan trawa gyurji, tungyao mepe dewa dame trawa gyurji, nering chadang nidang trawa, tangyao la nebra gyurji. Randy?
May I swiftly attain the sublime state of perfectly complete awakening for the sake of all mother sentient beings. For this purpose, I shall make offerings to the 35 Buddhas, and having invoked their heart pledge, I shall engage in the practice of confessing downfalls.
Ma semchen tamche ki tundu nirwa yang dabara sobe sanje ki gompang rinpo je topara ja te je du de wa sheba sumju sanga ju jing tu dam kune tungwa shabe chogala jugbara ja The objects of refuge dissolve into me. Kyabyu nam rang la tembar gyu. Lucrezia on the bottom of page 9 and through to the end of that section, which is somewhere in the middle of page 10.
Okay. Compassionate, transcendent conquerors dwelling in the 10 directions, please heed us. In the past, when you, the 35 compassionate, transcendent conquerors, engaged in bodhisattva deeds, you aroused bodhicitta and vowed to cleanse the obscurations of wandering beings in times when the 5 degenerations are rampant. Following this pledge, in order to protect us helpless wandering beings, we invite you to safeguard and stand by us as our last resort. Having come, regard us with eyes of compassion and purify our faults and downfalls. Please come and cause our store of merit to increase.
Juju na shube jumdende tuje chenpo dan tenpa namda la kong su so jumdende tuje chenpo dan tenpa sumju sanga po ke nam yun chang chu sembe Cheba jobe se nima ngaro towa namki teba jongwar toki jing tungdam jidra she wa deshindu den dacha gome ki towa gyobe le du kongkyam tang punyen du jin dren jing jina tuje jing ki shi ne dacha ki nitong jongshin sonam ki sobe we le du jongpar jinam. I'm going to continue to read today. Mahamuni, in this place and time, please come here, exalted one. Holy ones, please come here. Omniscient ones, please come here. Mahamunis, for the sake of others, chief among humans, please come here. All-knowing one among humans, please come here. Born in the lotus pond of moral discipline and suffused with the water of perseverance, your disciples gather around you like bees. Lotus sages, please come here. Dwelling in the noble truths endowed with the eyes of love and compassion, you roar the sound of selflessness. Victorious lions, please come here. Your discipline reminds of a pure water stream, causing the buds on the branches of awakening to bloom into the garlands of flowers and to develop into the perfect fruit of total liberation. Victorious tree, please come here. Endowed with wisdom vast and profound, and with the unlimited water of samadhi, you are a treasury filled with a yogin's gems, ocean of good qualities. Please come into it. Endowed with the glorious mandala of compassion, and perfectly adorned with the light rays of wisdom, you open the lotus mind of disciples, capable sons. Please come here. Invincible to adversaries, the deeds performed in the example of your perfect life were of a healer and his following. You won the trust of the dear light returners and non-returners, capable mountains. Please come. Protector of each and every sentient beings, the deity who overcame the frightful hordes of Mara, transcendent conqueror who knows all things as they are, together with your retinue, please come here to this place. Now we're at the top of page 13. Omar, can you read the first two sections until together with your utterly pure retinue?
Sorry.
Page 13. Can you unmute yourself and read?
Transcendent Conqueror, having practiced compassion in numerous countless eons out of love for sentient beings, now that your vast aspiration and your intention is completely fulfilled, it is time to act for the sake of beings, as you have wished. Therefore, in order to liberate infinite numbers of sentient beings, displaying various miracles and blessings, please come here from the spontaneously existing palace of the Dharmadhatu sphere, together with your utterly pure retinue. You endowed with
That's good. Yeah. Claudia, next.
You endowed with an omniscient mind, if you love me and know my thoughts. By the power of these truthful words, please come into my presence, everyone. Complicated thus, they all descend from the natural abode of the Dharmadhatu pure land of Akanishta, the glorious transcendent conqueror, the peerless king of Shakyas.
From the top of page 14, Cecile, can you read until Jewel Moonlight? About half of this page.
From the essence of a space realm above, the one who has fully conquered the Varja essence from the jewel endowed realm in the east, jewel radiant light from the realm pervaded by Nagas in the southeast, sovereign king of Nagas from the realm of the brave in the south, leader of the brave. From the realm endowed with joy in the southwest, glorious joy. From the realm endowed with luminosity in the west, jewel fire. From the realm pleasant light in the northwest, jewel moonlight.
Jasper, the rest of this page.
From the realm drumbeat in the north, meaningful to behold. From the realm radiant light in the northeast, jewel moon. From the realm ash covered below, the stainless one. From the realm glory endowed above, glorious giving. From the realm divide of obscuration in the east, the pure one. From the realm without sorrow in the southeast, giving of purity.
Elena, top of page 15 to about middle of the page.
From the stainless realm in the south, the water god. From the clear realm in the southwest, the god of water god. From the realm bliss, endowed the west, good glory. From the realm pervaded, sweet sentence in the northwest, glorious Sandatu. From the realm endowed with brilliance in the north, infinitive brilliance.
Next, Leonard.
From the realm meaningful in the northeast, glorious light. From the realm unobscured below, glory without sorrow. From the realm without craving above, sun of non-craving. From the realm where many flowers blossom in the east, glory of flowers. From the realm pervaded by purity in the southeast, pure display. From the realm lotus endowed in the south, display of lotus light.
Top of page 16, Adriana, about half this page.
From the realm with jewels in the south, glory of good health. From the real clarity endowed in the west, glory of mindfulness. From the that names in the northwest, widely removed, glorious name. From the power in the north, victory banner that crowns the sovereign.
That's good. The rest of this page, Suzanne.
From the unfolding realm in the northeast, the glorious one who fully subdues. From the realm free of afflictions below, sublime victor in battle. From the realm of glory endowed in the east, the one gone beyond through complete victory. From the realm illuminating array in the south, glorious illuminating array.
Samantha, page 17.
From the realm glory endowed in the west, all subduing loyal jewel. From the jewel realm in the north, king of sovereign Mount Meru and retinue. And unfathomable bodhisattvas, all descending an instant through unhindered miraculous abilities from the individual above.
Blessed Lord, how marvelous that you have come. We are indeed endowed with merit and good fortune. Blessed Lords, please remain while we make offerings to you. In this mandala of pure Dharma teachings, a sacred seat of great splendor is arranged. Resting in a meditative state of unmoving samadhi, please be seated with a joyful mind. Unobstructed, unrestricted form in the mode of equanimity. Please be seated on these clean and spacious thrones and accept these gifts of happiness. Sitting on these jewel thrones held aloft by lions and covered with celestial silken scarves, with joy and loving dispositions, please perform the great purpose of all wandering beings. In the center of a flawlessly lovely lotus seats with open petals and a pollen bed is a moon mandala for the benefit of all. I beseech you to remain upon these seats with love for wandering beings. Thus supplicated, the Sughatas with their retinues remain upon the lotus and moon seats of properly arranged lion thrones in the space before us. Now to the bottom of page 22. All are dressed in the style of a renunciate Nirmanakaya and are adorned with the 32 excellent marks and 80 minor marks, such as the crown protuberance and wheels of the feet. With their 60 aspects of melodious speech, they proclaim the clear sound of the Mahayana teachings. As their minds do not move from Vajra like samadhi, they clearly understand all objects of knowledge in the three times. Their bodies are garbed in the three dharma robes, and garlands of light shine like the sun from their bodies to alleviate the pain of miserable destinies. With eyes wide open like lotus petals, they behold me and all sentient beings with great compassion. Upon merely beholding them, these great beings effortlessly accomplish the temporary and ultimate purposes of all sentient beings. They thus abide with legs in Vajra posture. As we raise beautiful jewel parasols with golden handles, delightfully adorned with all around, with pleasing forms so lovely to behold, we make unceasing offerings to the Lord of the sages. Omar, can you share screen of and show the images of the various Buddhas? We're going to do this section on page 24. So for each reader, read the section that is of the particular Buddha. So I'm going to read the Buddha Shakyamuni one. Then the next person in the list is Anna Isabel. You are going to read like at the bottom of page 25. That is the 2 lines for the next Buddha. Then Maria Cristina, good to see you here this morning. You will read the top of 26, those 2 lines for that particular Buddha. Then Daniela, the next 2 lines. So each 2 lines here will describe a particular Buddha and the particular negative karma that they purify. To the Bhagavan, the Tathagata, the Arhat, the perfectly complete Buddha, the one with perfect knowledge and conduct, the Sugata, the knower of the worlds, the guide who tames beings, the unsurpassed one, the teacher of gods and humans, peerless king of Shakyas, I prostrate, fully bowing my head to you, dustless, immaculate, to your dustless, immaculate feet. With golden complexion and earth-touching gesture, you cleanse the misdeeds of 10,000 eons and are the glory of this world of endurance. Homage to the supreme guide, Shakyamuni. Next.
With blue complexion, holding a bashra in both hands, cleans the misdeed of 10,000 eons and are the glory of the essence of space realm above. Homage to the one fully conquer.
Next.
With white complexion, holding a Vajra and sun, you cleanse the misdeeds of 25,000 eons and are the glory of the jewel-endowed realm in the east. Homage to jewel radiating light, who clears away darkness.
Next.
With blue complexion, holding a naga and a snake, you cleanse the misdeeds of 8 eons and are the glory of the realm pervaded by nagas in the southeast. Homage to the Dharmadhatu, sovereign king of nagas.
Christina, page 26, the last section on page 26, starting with yellow complexion. Don't forget to unmute.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about another Christina. There's 2 of us. That's not what I want. Oh, come here, computer. Okay. Okay, which one again? The blue one? No, the
Page
yellow
26, the last section.
one. Yeah. With the yellow complexion, holding a volume of scripture and a sword. You cleanse the misdeeds, the speech, and are the glory of the realm of the brave in the south. Homage the leader of the brave, and who overcomes all discard.
Joyce, next section.
With crimson complexion, holding a sun and lotus, you cleanse all misdeeds of mind and are the glory of the realm endowed with joy in the southwest.
Javier.
Homage to glorious
sorry.
joy who delights in the Dharma.
Javier.
With red complexion, holding a jewel and a fire sphere, you cleanse the misdeeds of causing schism in the Sangha and are the glory of the realm endowed with luminosity in the west. Homage to the persevering jewel fire.
Fabiola.
With white complexion, holding a jewel and a moon, you cleanse the misdeeds of 1 eon and are the glory of the realm, pleasant light in the northwest. Homage to the jewel moonlight, who clears away darkness.
Waiting, and then Melissa.
With green complexion, holding an Utpala flower marked with 2 eyes, you cleanse the misdeed of denigrating the Sublime One and are the glorious of the realm drumbeat in the north. Homage to meaningful to behold teaching Dharma.
With light green complexion, holding a jewel and lotus, you cleanse the misdeeds of the inexplicable act of killing one's mother, and are the glory of the realm radiant light in the northeast. Homage to jewel moon, shining coolness.
Larry and then Laura Herman.
With a smart colored complexion, holding a mirror in each hand, you cleanse the misdeeds of the...
Go on.
Okay. You cleanse the misdeeds of the inexpiable act of killing one's fathers and are the glory of the realm ash covered below. Homage to the stainless one in insight and meditation.
With white complexion, holding a stalk of a wood apple in both hands, you cleanse the misdeeds of the expiable act of killing an arhat and are the glory of the realm, glory endowed above. Homage to glorious giving of immaculate wisdom.
Mariana, and then Rodrigo, and then Miriam.
With a crimson complexion, holding a lotus and sun, you cleanse the misdeeds of drawing blood from a Tathagata by what evil intent and are the glory of the realm devoid of obscuration in the east. Homage to the immaculate impeccable pure one.
Sorry, what page?
Page 29 in the middle with yellow complexion.
With yellow complexion, holding a lotus, marked with a sun, you cleanse the misdeeds of 10,000 eons and are the glory of the realm without sorrow in the southwest. Homage to giving of purified Lord of the Conquerors.
With blue complexion, holding a water spear and teaching the Dharma, you cleanse the misdeeds of abusing an arat and are the glory of the stainless realm in the south. Homage to the water wood who washes the stains of afflictions.
Anna Elisa and then Alexander.
With white complexion, holding an ocean and mirror, you cleanse the misdeeds of killing a bodhisattva and are the glory of the clear realm in the southwest. Homage to the god of water gods, washing away stains.
With red complexion, holding the stalk of a lotus and a wish-fulfilling tree, you cleanse the misdeeds of killing a noble disciple and are the glory of the realm bliss endowed in the west. Homage to the good glory perfecting the dual.
Then Kimberly with crimson complexion, bottom of page 30. If you're reading, you have to unmute. With crimson complexion, holding a sandalwood branch and the wood apple fruit, you cleanse the misdeeds of stealing the wealth of the Sangha and are the glory of the realm pervaded by the sweet scents in the northwest. Homage to glorious sandalwood, alleviating pain. Maurice, next section, top of page 31. Then Josh.
With red complexion, holding the lotus marked with 2 suns, you cleanse the misdeeds of demolishing the stupas and are the glory of the realm endowed with brilliance in the north. Homage to infinite brilliance pervading the universe.
With white complexion, holding a sphere of light in both hands, you cleanse the misdeeds born from the hatred, and are the glory of the realm meaningful in the northeast. Homage to glorious light, pure in itself.
Now, bottom of page 31, Antonio, then Sandra, then Randy, then Lucrezia.
With light blue complexion, holding a sprig of the sorrowless tree, you cleanse the misdeeds born from passion and are the glory of the realm of unobscured down below. Homage to glory without sorrow, devoid of all pain.
With blue complexion, holding Mount Meru and displaying the lotus mudra, you cleanse the misdeeds of 10,000 eons and are the glory of the realm without craving above. Homage to the peerless son of non-craving.
With yellow complexion, holding the flower and a wood apple fruit, you cleanse the misdeeds of 100,000 eons and are the glory of the realm where many flowers blossom in the east. Homage to the lovely glory of flowers.
With a white complexion, holding a lotus and masses of light, you cleanse the misdeeds of 1,000 eons and are the glory of the realm pervaded by purity in the southeast. Homage to the radiant pure display.
Omar.
With red complexion, holding a lotus and a sun, you cleanse the misdeeds of 7 eons and are the glory of the realm lotus endowed in the soul. Homage to the displays of lotus life.
Claudia, then Cecile, and then Jasper, page 33.
With red complexion, holding a wish-fulfilling jewel in both hands, you cleanse the misdeeds born from habitual imprints and are the glory of the realm with jewels in the southwest. Homage to the glory of wealth, rich with faith and the rest.
With yellow complexion, holding a scripture and sword, you cleanse the misdeeds of the body and are the glory of the realm clarity endowed in the west. Homage to the glory of mindfulness of body, feelings, mind, and dharmas.
With green complexion, raising a crown in both hands, you cleanse the misdeeds of disrespecting the Buddha and are the glory of the realm without names in the northwest. Homage to widely renowned glorious name.
Next section, top of page 34, Elena, and then Leonard, and then Adriana.
With yellow complexion, holding a jewel crown, ornament, and a victorious banner. You cleanse the misdeeds born from yellows and are the glory of the realm clear power in the north. Homage to the victory banner that crowns the sovereign.
With white complexion, displaying the earth-touching mudra, you cleanse the misdeeds of inciting others to crime and are the glory of the unfolding realm in the northeast. Homage to the glorious one who fully subdues.
With black complexion, holding armor and a sword, you cleanse the misdeeds born from the pride and are the glory of the realm free of affliction below. Homage to the sublime victorious in battle.
Top of page 35, first Suzanne, and then Samantha, and then Anna Isabel.
With white complexion displaying the earth-touching mudra and the mudra of bestowing protection, you cleanse the misdeeds born from slander and are the glory of the realm, glory endowed in the east. Homage to the one gone beyond through complete victory.
With yellow complexion, displaying the earth-touching mudra and the mudra bestowing With yellow complexion, holding a sun and a jewel, you cleanse the misdeeds born from rejoicing in the misdeeds of others, and are the glory of the real, illuminated and arrayed in the south. Homage to glories illuminated and arrayed.
With red complexion, holding a jewel and lotus, you cleanse the misdeeds of abandoning the holy Dharma, and are the glory of the real glory endowed in the West. Homage to all subduing lotus jewel.
Then the top of page 36, Maria Cristina.
With sky blue complexion, holding Mount Meru in both hands, you cleanse the misdeeds of impaired Samayas and are the glory of the realm precious jewels in the north. Homage to the powerful King Mount Meru, who is free of delusion.
So then in this next section is the beginning of the seven-limbed puja, which we have been doing this past week. So here today I'm going to chant in Tibetan, page 36 and page 37. Jine suda chuchu jidena desum de sheba miye senge kun taki malu de da tamche la lu da nga yi dangwe chagi wo zampo chobe monlam tomdagi gyawa tamche yiki ngonsum du shingi dune luram tubayi gyawa kuna rabdu chaselo duchi tena dunye sanje seki una shubha da deda jogi yingna maluba tamje gyawa dhagi gangwa mo deda ngapa mitse gyatso nam yangi yenla gyatso dragunji gyawa kunji yonten rabzo jin dewa shepa tamje dhagi do chaja oba tamje la shindu gungi dhanegi ludu baye namkundu jogdu debe tobarji. This last verse is not from the same source, but there's no problem including this last verse. Then page 38, please. Medo damba dungwa damba dan sinyen namdan jumba dujo da marme chodan dupo damba ye gyawa dena lani choparenji nabza damba namdan drijo dan chema purma rera nyamparidan kobe gebara papo jogungi gyawa deda layang choparenji chopa ganam lame gyajewa deda gyawa tamje layang mo sampo chola debe tomdagi gyawa kunla chasel choparenji. Then to page 48, continuing with the other five limbs, the other five parts. First part is paying homage. Second part is making offerings. So the offering section in this sadhana, it's has many other sections that we are skipping to page 48. 48, then the other five limbs, each one of them has one verse. This next one is the what's called confession, laying bare of the faults, and then rejoicing in the merit is the next, and then beseeching, requesting the Buddhas to turn the wheel of Dharma, requesting them not to demonstrate nirvana and to continue to be present, to guide beings, and then finally the seventh is dedication. So again, middle of page 48. Doja shedan dimu wangene ludang adan deshin yiki gyan dingpa dagi giba jeje bar deda tamje dagi sosorasha joju gyawa kundan sanje se rangya namdan lodan milodan drowa kunji sonam ganglaya deda kunji jese dhayera gangnam joju jinden romana chanchu rinpa sanje majane gompo deda dagi tamje la Kolo lana mepa korwanku nyangen datong kanshe de dala rawa kunla penshin tewe jir kyapa shingi Dune Supayan, Dagi Tamo Rabja Sovargi, Chasa Wadan, Chujing Shabada, Jise Yiran Gusing Sowayi, Gewa Junse Dagi Jisaba, Tamje Zobe, Janju Jeringo. Now to the top of page 30. In accordance with the 35 Sukhatas' aspiration to exhaust the karmic veils of those who remember their excellent names and pay homage to them, please bestow the fruits of this wish. Now we come to the main part of the practice, which is known as the Sutra in 3 heaps. As I explained in the last few days, but for the benefit of those who are able to join us on the weekends. So here, the title of the Sutra in 3 heaps, or 3 bundles, 3 collections, has been variously explained in 2 of the traditional commentaries, at least 2 traditions that I know of. In one tradition, it says it doesn't account for the first obvious section, which is the paying homage to the Buddhas. So instead, it goes into the section beginning with the laying bare or confession. So it says that's the first heap. Then the second heap is rejoicing, and the third heap, the third element, is dedicating. In another explanatory tradition, it says that the paying homage to the Buddhas is the first heap, confession is the next heap, laying bare is the next heap, and dedication is the third heap. But I think there's a way to combine these 2 commentarial traditions, and in fact draw combining both of them, and I think they illuminate very clearly all the key elements in this practice. So I offer my kind of combined, harmonizing these 2 commentarial traditions, so that the first section, the first heap, is remembering, as it says in the top of page 50, it says, remembering their excellent names and paying homage to you. I think that we can say is the first element. This first element has 2 aspects. To remember the names of these Buddhas. To remember the names of these Buddhas is to remember their qualities. And to pay homage to those qualities is to admire those qualities and to express our admiration and to express our desire to achieve the same qualities. So that's the first element. The second element is the element of laying bare, revealing, no longer hiding, seeing clearly what all the faults are in terms of actions. And specifically then, we're talking about what's often called negative karma, or maybe in more neutral terms, unskillful actions. What is unskillful? I think that was brought up, a question. Unskillful is whatever produces suffering. And another definition, what makes actions unskillful? If they are motivated, if they are driven by the 3 poisons. In that sense, not to get all depressing, most of our actions are driven by somehow the 3 poisons. But it's not a black and white. It's not like absence or presence of 3 poisons. We reduce the 3 poisons. To the degree that we reduce the 3 poisons, to the degree that we try to act from a place which is the opposite of the 3 poisons, which is bodhicitta, then those actions are skillful. So one aspect is revealing so that we see clearly the negative actions, the unskillful actions, the misdeeds, various translations. The second aspect of this second heap is to abandon. Once it has been revealed, we put them down, we lay them down, we leave them behind. So that's the second. The third heap involves bringing to mind. In the last heap, we bring to mind the faults. In this third heap, the first aspect of that is we bring to mind the virtues. Specifically the virtues that we have cultivated, we are cultivating. And they're a reminder of the 6 paramitas. In a very succinct form, is a reminder of the main practice of the Bodhisattva path is practice of the 6 paramitas, which then from there branch out into the mirrored 10,000, as they say, to the 10,000 virtuous actions from the 6 perfections, from the 6 paramitas. Then, in acting virtuously in this way, we dedicate the merit of this to the enlightenment, to the awakening of all beings. So in terms of negative karma, unskillful action, we reveal, abandon. In terms of positive actions and virtue, we again reveal and we dedicate. In a spiritual tradition that also came about the same time as Buddha Shakyamuni taught, an older contemporary of Buddha Shakyamuni called Mahavira is the founder of the Jain tradition. The Jain religion originated around the time of Buddha Shakyamuni, historically speaking, but a little bit earlier. He was born earlier than Buddha Shakyamuni, but as far as we know, they never met. But from the same area. So the founder of the Jain tradition. So the Jain tradition, they say karma cannot be dedicated. So they say, good or bad karma absolutely cannot be dedicated, cannot impact anyone else but the individual who creates them. Buddha Shakyamuni's explanation is different. He says, negative karma, you cannot give to someone, you cannot dedicate. The only thing you do with negative karma is you try to purify and you abandon. Then he says, positive karma, you can dedicate to others. So the Jains say, if you can dedicate positive, you should be able to also dedicate negative. So they disagree. They say, no. So their system of karma is very, like almost we could say, inflexible. There's no, it's only this way. It only, and it's entirely the domain of the individual. But Buddha Shakyamuni says, no, that's not how it works. Just for your information, that there is this other view. So here it says, with regards to negative karma, we see them clearly. In seeing them clearly, we can abandon them. We can purify them. We can clear them. With regards to virtue, skillful actions, we see them, then we don't become proud, we don't become self-satisfied, we don't become greedy. Instead, we dedicate them to others. Yeah, and the reason I presented the Jain view is that sometimes I think some of us carry the Jain view. That karma is completely just, strictly just the individual. But in the Buddha's explanation of interdependence, It's not that rigid. There's a lot of more subtle workings of karma that we say we rely on the Buddha's wisdom to reveal to us, because we cannot see it directly right now. In fact, I think we can see more directly the Jain view, how actions, logically, right? How actions, positive or negative, is directly impacts the individual. But relying on the Buddha's all-knowing mind, we also learn that the interdependencies involved in karma, it's a lot more subtle than just this very straightforward from our perspective. This is not a criticism of Jain tradition. If you want to learn about Jain tradition and practice Jain tradition, they have excellent teachings. You have to go to them and learn from them. So I don't want you to walk around now thinking, oh, Jains think this. It's the way we are understanding them. But it's not fair to then say, oh, this is what they believe. One time at our temple here in Urban Dharma, somebody who is training to be a Christian minister, they have to attend like other traditions classes as part of one of his coursework. So he came to Urban Dharma and he attended one afternoon service. And we made arrangements to meet after that, so that if he has any questions. So when we met, he said to me, he said, well, first thing I want to say is that the very first thing I learned is, he said, if I want to understand other spiritual traditions, I probably should not try to understand it from my own tradition. He says, we're attending this class in seminary on world religions and taught by, a minister, and they gave me a particular understanding of Buddhism, and then I came to the temple, and it's like, wait, what? This is not what I learned. And we had a good laugh, Same, as Buddhists, in our Buddhist texts, they talk about other traditions, they talk about other religion, but I think let's not, let's understand the reason why Buddhist texts, when they bring up other traditions, firstly, not to criticize other traditions. It's not about that. It's to help clarify our own view and understanding. And with that attitude, I think, with that understanding, we can be genuinely non-sectarian in that sense. Non-sectarian doesn't mean mixing everything up. That just, I think destroys the power and the distinctive features of the different traditions. So anyway, lots of footnotes. Page 50. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to first read this whole section in English myself, so that for those of you who want to take this time to do some prostrations, you can do that. I'm not going to call on names to read this main practice. Today I'm going to read, and of course those of you who want to read along on your end, please do that. And then those of you who want to do some prostrations, you can also do that now. Throughout all time, all sentient beings take refuge in the Guru, take refuge in the Buddha, take refuge in the Dharma, take refuge in the Sangha. Homage to the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly complete Buddha Shakyamuni. Homage to the one who has fully conquered with Vajra essence. Homage to the jewel radiating light. Homage to the sovereign king of Nagas. Homage to the leader of the brave. Homage to glorious joy. Homage to jewel fire, homage to jewel moonlight, homage to meaningful to behold, homage to jewel moon, homage to the stainless one, homage to glorious giving, homage to the pure one, homage to giving of purity, homage to water god, homage to god of the water gods, homage to good glory, homage to glorious sandalwood, homage to infinite brilliance, homage to glorious light, homage to glory without sorrow, Homage to Son of Non-Craving. Homage to Glory of Flowers. Homage to Tathagata, radiant pure display of complete omniscience. Homage to Tathagata, completely omniscient display of lotus light. Homage to glory of wealth. Homage to glory of mindfulness. Homage to widely renowned glorious name. Homage to the King Victory banner that crowns the sovereign. Homage to glorious one who fully subdues. Homage to sublime victor in battle. Homage to the one gone beyond through complete victory. Homage to glorious illuminating array. Homage to all subduing lotus jewel. Homage to King of Mount Meru, the Tathagata Arhat, perfectly complete Buddha, abiding on a jewel lotus. All these and all the Tathagatas, all Arhats, however many perfectly complete Buddhas abide in all worlds of the 10 directions, and all the Buddhas, transcendent conquerors who prevail in this world, please heed me. In this and former lives without beginning, in all the states of birth within samsara, I have committed evil deeds. I have instigated others and found joy in their crimes. I have stolen the wealth of stupas, the Sangha community, and the Sangha of the 10 directions. I have incited others to steal and found joy in their thefts. I have committed the 5 immediate sins, have incited others to commit them, and have found joy in their downfalls. I have fully entered the path of engaging in the 10 unwholesome deeds, have incited others to enter it, and have found joy in their submission. Obscured by all these karmic veils, I and sentient beings have gone to the hell realms, have gone to the birthplaces of animals, have gone to the worlds of hungry ghosts, have taken birth in savage places as barbarians, as long-lived gods, and as humans with impaired sense faculties. I have turned corrupted views and karmic obscurations from having failed to please the Buddhas I encountered. In the presence of the Buddha Bhagavan wisdom minds, before their eyes in their witness, before the authentic ones, the all-knowing ones, the all-seeing ones, I disclose all these karmic obscurations. I declare them, I shall not hide them, and hereafter I shall sever and bind them. All Buddhas, transcendent conquerors, please heed me. I gather all the roots of virtue I have accumulated in cyclic existence through having acted generously towards another samsaric sentient being, even only offering a mouthful of food to those born in the animal realm, together with any root of virtue from having guarded moral discipline, to any root of virtue from having practiced pure conduct, any root of virtue from having brought sentient beings to full maturity, any root of virtue from having given rise to bodhicitta, the mind set on supreme awakening, and any root of virtue from unsurpassed primordial awareness accumulated in this and former lives without beginning within samsara, all these I dedicate them perfectly, supremely, most supremely, and sublimely towards unsurpassed, perfectly complete awakening. Just as the previous Bhagavan Buddhas perfectly performed dedication, and just as the Bhagavan Buddhas who have not yet appeared will perfectly perform dedication, and just as the present Bhagavan Buddhas perfectly perform dedication, likewise shall I perform perfect dedication. I confess each and every wrongdoing and rejoice in all merit. I exhort and supplicate all Buddhas that I may attain unsurpassed, most excellent primordial wisdom. With my palms joined together, I wholeheartedly take refuge in all those with praiseworthy qualities as infinite as a vast ocean, all the Buddhas supreme among humans who exist at present, those who have passed into Nirvana, and those who have not yet appeared. Now again to page 50. In this round, we'll do a hybrid. I'm going to chant the names in Tibetan, and then we are going to go to the English section, the next 2 sections in English, and I will volunteer some of the readers here. So if you are going to be doing prostrations, go ahead also during the time of the recitation in Tibetan. Simchen tamche tabar lama la kyabsu chiwa sanje la kyabsu chiwa chola kyabsu chiwa genden la kyabsu chiwa chun tende deshin shepa chachumba yangda para sope sanje shakya tupa la chaselo durje nimpo rabdu chumba la chaselo rinjen otro la chaselo lo wangi gyabo la chaselo Power de la jazalo, pel gela jazalo, rinje mela jazalo, rinje dao jazalo, tongwa dongyon jazalo, rinje dawa la jazalo, rima meba la jazalo, pa jin la jazalo, zangpa la jazalo, zangpe jin la jazalo, chula la jazalo, chule la jazalo, pel zang la jazalo, zenden pel la jazalo, siji taye la jazalo, o pel la jazalo, nyangye mepe pel la jazalo, seme ki bula jazalo, meto pel la jazalo, deshin shepa zangpe oze namba roba ngombara gemba la jazalo, deshin shepa peme oze namba roba ngombara gemba la jazalo, nur bela jazalo, jem bela jazalo, Tsempa shintu yondra la jazalo, wambo togi gyazengi gyabo la jazalo, shintu nambara nombe bela jazalo, yule shintu nambara gyawa la jazalo, nambara nombe shebe bela jazalo, kune nawa kobe bela jazalo, rinjen bema nambara nomba la jazalo, deshin sheba dachumba yanda para zobe sanje rinpoche, bema la rabdu shubari wangi gyabo la jazalo. All these and all the Tathagatas, all the Arhats, however many perfectly complete Buddhas that abide in all the worlds of the 10 directions, and all the Buddhas, the transcendent conquerors who prevail in this world, please heed me. Now, page 54. If there is anyone this morning who have not yet had a chance to read and want to read, please go ahead and volunteer and read page 54. Just be bold, unmute, and start. Page 54.
In this and former lives without beginning, in all the states of birth within samsara, I have committed evil deeds. I have incited others and found joy in their crimes. I have stolen the wealth of stupas, the Sangha community, and the Sangha of the 10 directions. I have incited others to steal and found joy in their thefts. I have committed the 5 immediate sins, have incited others to commit them, and have found joy in their downfalls. I have fully entered the path of engaging in the 10 unwholesome deeds, have incited others to enter it, and have found joy in their submission.
Thank you, David. Next, page 55. Somebody else?
Obscured by these karmic veils, I and sentient beings have gone to hell, have gone to the birthplaces of animals, have gone to the worlds of hungry ghosts, have taken birth in savage places as barbarians, as long-lived gods, and as humans with impaired sense faculties. I have turned to corrupted views and karmic obscurations from having failed to please the Buddhas I encountered. In the presence of the Bhagavan Buddha wisdom mind, before their eyes, in their witness, before the authentic ones, the all-knowing one, the all-seeing ones, I disclose all these karmic obscurations. I declare them, I shall not hide them, and hereafter I shall sever and bind them.
Page 56, another volunteer.
All Buddha's transcendent conquerors, please heed me. I gather all the roots of virtue I have accumulated in cyclic existence through having acted generously toward another samsaric sentient being, even only offering a mouthful of food to those born in the animal realm. Together with any root of virtue from having guarded moral discipline, any root of virtue from having practiced pure conduct, any root of virtue from having brought sentient beings to full maturity, any root of virtue from having given rise to bodhicitta, the mind set on supreme awakening.
Next, 57.
And any root of virtue from unsurpassed primordial awareness accumulated in these unformable lives without beginning within samsara, all these I dedicate them perfectly, supremely, most supremely, and sublimely towards unsurpassed, perfectly complete awakening. Just as the previous Bhagavan Buddhas perfectly performed dedication, and just as the Bhagavan Buddhas who have not yet appeared will perfectly perform dedication, and just as the present Bhagavan Buddhas perfectly perform dedication, likewise shall I perform perfect dedication. I confess each and every wrongdoing and rejoice in all merit.
Then to the top of page 58.
We exhort and supplicate
I
all
exhort and
Buddhas
supplicate
that
all
I may
Buddhas
attain
that I may attain
Somebody now, go ahead.
We exhort and supplicate all Buddhas that I may attain unsurpassed most excellent primordial wisdom. With my palms joined together, I wholeheartedly take refuge in all those with praiseworthy qualities as infinite as a vast ocean. All the Buddhas supreme among humans who exist at present, those who have passed into Nirvana, and those who have not yet appeared.
Thank you. Now the third recitation. In the third recitation, I'm going to chant this in Tibetan from beginning to end. So, of course, wherever you are, there's a number of different things you can do. You can do prostrations during this time. And the prostrations don't have to be full prostrations. Of course, if you can do full prostrations, it's a pretty good workout for body, speech, and mind. Half prostration, just bowing, it's also good. Or you can read yourself in English, or you can, pay attention by looking at the images of each of the Buddhas and think like by viewing them, your mind, your heart is being cleansed. So there are various ways to, or you can try to follow if you want to chant along in the Tibetan. So bottom of page 50. Zemjen tamje takbar lama la gyabzu jiwa sanje la gyabzu jiwa chola gyabzu jiwa kenden la gyabzu jiwa chum dende deshin shepa rajumba yang dabra zobe sanje shakya tuba la jazalo doje nimbo radu jumba la jazalo rinjen odro la jazalo lo wangi gyabo la jazalo Pawo de la jasalo, berge la jasalo, rinje me la jasalo, rinje da o la jasalo, tongwa donyo la jasalo, rinje da wa la jasalo, drima me pa la jasalo, pa jin la jasalo, tsampa la jasalo, tsampe jin la jasalo, chu la la jasalo, chu he la la jasalo, pel zang la jasalo, tsenden pel la jasalo, siji daye la jasalo, o pel la jasalo, nyangye me be pel la jasalo, seme ki bo la jasalo, me do pel la jasalo, deshin she pa tsangpe oze nampa ropa ngompar kempa la jasalo, deshin sheba beme oze namba roba ngompara gempa la jasalo, no bela jasalo, drembe bela jasalo, tsembe shintu yondra la jasalo, Wangpo togi gyao sengi gyao po la jazelo. Shindu nambara nombe bela jazelo. Yule shindu nambara gyawa la jazelo. Nambara nombe shebe bela jazelo. Kune nangwa gobe bela jazelo. Rinjen bema nambara nomba la jazelo. Deshin sheba dajumba yanda bara zobe. Sanje rinpoche bema la rabdu shukbari wangi gyabola. Jazelo deda la sopa joju jidengi. Kam tamje na deshin sheba dajumba. Yanda bara zobe sanje gangji ne jishi te soshin. Shebe sanje jumdende da tamje dala gong su so dagi gewa de dan gewa towa toma dang tama machi pane korwa na korwe gene tamje du dikpele giba dam gi du zelwa dam giba la jisu yirang hwa chudengi goram gendengi gora joju gendengi go toro bada Trong tu zawa dang topa la jisi yirang wa Tsamma jiba nye le giba dang Gi tu zawa dang giba la jisi yirang wa Mige wa jule gi lam yang dapara lang wa la Shukba dang juk tu zawa dang Jukba la jisi yirang wa Leki dripa gangi dene da semche nerwa jiwa tundo gene su jiwa idagi yudu jiwa yuta ka kom tu gewa laro gewa la sering ponam su gewa Wang po ma chang wa gyurwa tawa lokpar jimpar gyurwa sanje jung wa la nepra mi gi par gyurwe leki dre pa gang la pa deda tamche sanje jomdende yeshe su gyurpa jendu gyurpa pangdu gyurpa semar gyurpa kempa sekpa deda gi jenga tholo cha so mi cha bo mi debo lenje kyang cho jing dom par gi lang so sanje chom den de da tamje dala gong su so da gi ke wa di dang ke wa Toma dang tama ma ji pa ne korwa na korwe tie ke wa shen da du jimpa dana dun jo ge ne su ke pa la ze kam ji cham se we ge we cha wa gang la pa da da gi su chem sum pe ge we cha wa gang la pa da da gi chang par jo pa la ne be ge we cha wa gang la pa da da gi sem chen yung su min par gi be ge we cha wa gang la pa da da gi chang chu jok du sem ge be ge we cha wa gang la pa da da gi la na me be ye she gi ge we cha wa gang la pa de da de tham che chik tu du shin dum te dom ne la na ma che pa da Gong na ma chi pa dang gong me yang gong ma la me yang la mar yong su ngo we la na me pa yang da par zo pe chang chum tu yong su ngo war gi o ji dar de pe san je chom den de nam ki yong su ngo pa dang ji dar ma jom pe san je chom den de nam ki yong su ngo wa gyur wa da ji dar da tar shu pe san je chom den de nam ki yong su ngor wa ze pa de shin du da gi kyang yong su ngor wa gi o de ba tham je ni so so shang so so nam tham je la ji se yi rang o san je tham je la gu shing so wa de so da gi la na me pe yi she gi cho dam ba to ba gyur ji mi cho gya wa gang da Da tar su pa dang kang da de pa da dan de shin kang ma jo yon te nga pa ta ye kya so dra kun la tel mo jaw ra ki de kyab su nir wa ji ho Now just take a few moments and let both body and mind settle and settle into their own places. Settle evenly. The body settling evenly is to let your awareness pervade, your mindfulness pervade your entire body. And as mindfulness or awareness pervades the body, wherever you find that there is tension or stress, or if your weight is not evenly distributed, very gently make some adjustments so that the body can naturally settle into its own place and find the right posture, the right position for the body to be relaxed and at ease. Perhaps you want to use breath as a way to settle the body. As breath arises, let the life-giving energy that arises alongside breath pervade every corner of your body, every inch, every area of your body, calming your body, cooling down the inflammations, and settle into ease. And as many have discovered, as you direct your awareness and mindfulness to settling the body, your mind naturally settles as well. For the mind to completely settle evenly into its own place, we have to have the attitude of, this is enough, this is enough, this is enough. We don't have to grasp, we don't have to force. Whatever arises, this is enough. And just allow mind to settle. Okay, now at the bottom of page 58 in the notes provided there, it quotes from Shantideva's Bodhicayavatara. It says, Shantideva says, throughout the 3 times of the day and night, so 6 times a day, in fact, according to Shantideva, one should recite the Sutra of the 3 heaps. By that means, one will quell the remaining downfalls because of one's reliance on the victorious ones and bodhicitta, the mind set on enlightenment, which is what bodhicitta is. In our learning of Gampopa's discussion on the 4 powers, the power of reliance is again pointed as the power of relying on the victorious ones, of taking refuge in the Buddhas, and not giving up on bodhicitta, not to abandon bodhicitta. Yeah. So there's another very important composition of Shantideva, known as the Shiksha Samuchaya, which is translated as the anthology for training. It's longer than the Bodhicattva. It's composed in prose rather than verse, and has lots of quotations from various sutras and many different sources, and also from the tantras. But what I want to read from there, under the chapter of karmic clearing of karmic obscurations, clearing of misdeeds, or here translated as vile actions. So anyway, this translation was done not too long ago. It's translated by Charles Goodman into English. It's called The Training Anthology of Shantideva. Training Anthology of Shantideva. A translation of the Shiksha Samuchaya. So in the Shiksha Samuchaya, here quoting the Dharani of Chunda Sutra, it says, it gives some indications of when you can be confident that karmic obscurations are being cleared. Of course, karmic obscurations being cleared, I think the most important sign to look for, in fact, is how our mind is settling. Yes, sometimes we say the signs of karmic obscurations being cleared is like, oh, you have an illness, something unexpected that is undesirable happening, you fall sick, that's a very common one, people always say, oh, some people like panic a little, oh, wait, too much purifying, can I not be so sick? And those things can come, of course, in the stories of the great masters. I think in part we have read those stories, then we think, oh, if I get sick during doing this practice, that means it's karmic. Yes, of course, karmic obscurations being cleared. It is said that if you did not do this purification, that karmic obscuration could have manifested in a way, come to fruition in a way that is even more suffering. So perhaps, originally it was going to manifest in a very terrible illness. Now it's just a mildly terrible illness. So there are, things like that for sure. But again, fundamentally, how we know karmic obscurations has been cleared, it's the quality of your mind and heart. If there is an experience of lightness, no longer so heavy, no longer so burdened, then you can say, this is starting to work. Different people will experience different things. Some of us, during this recitation, like some very strong emotion might come up, relating to certain parts, especially those parts about, in the past I have done this, in the past I have done this. A lot of times, not even in this lifetime, we say previous lifetimes, then a certain part might become very kind of strong suddenly. Then we might know, this is related to the unveiling, the revealing of deep kind of past. So different people will experience different things. But how to know fundamentally that the purification is working, it's not necessarily just like when, unpleasant things start to surface. It also can be that how you respond to
unpleasant things happening. So remember the original quote I gave from the Buddha, where he talked about salt, right? A scoop of salt in a glass of water, impossible to drink. Same amount of salt dissolve into a reservoir. That water we can drink. So he says, same negative karma created in the past, if it ripens now for you, and your capacity, your mind, your heart is as vast as a glass, a glass for drinking water, then that salt that comes now, impossible to drink. But if you have developed your mind, your heart, so that it's like a reservoir, that scoop of salt, no problem. Difficulty is still there, but it has been so diffused. No problem, right? But here I want to read to you from this quote from the Siksha Samuccaya, which in turn is quoting this text called the Dharani of Chunda. It says, some of the signs, these are signs in dreams. For example, if you dream of vomiting bad food because of eating yogurt, milk, and so on, then then you know purification is happening. Or if you dream, this is very interesting, or if you dream of a dwarf, little people, that too is a sign. If you dream of the moon or sun flying through the sky, blazing fire, a water buffalo defeating a dark person, seeing a community of monks or nuns, a sap-giving tree, a tree that has a lot of sap, like pine and, Palo Santo in South America, climbing up a mountain, or climbing onto a lion throne, or hearing the Dharma. These are the signs. Yeah, that's the quote from Siksha Samuccaya. Other tantras, other sutras also talk about these different signs. Certain other practices, if in a dream you see someone dressing in red, so these are the magnetizing practices like Gurukule, Amitabha. If you see someone dressed in red, that is a sign that things are starting to happen. So, but the signs are not uniform. There are many ways of experiencing signs of purification. And like I said, I find the most reliable one is the capacity of your heart or your mind, the level of composure, the level of courage that is there, so that you're not thrown off, you're not blown away by unexpected things turning up. Yeah. Okay, now we have completed the discussion of Gampopa's 4 powers, and then I have started to look at the actual main practice itself, starting on page 50. So yesterday we talked about, the very first line of throughout all time, all sentient beings. What does it mean, like when you are taking refuge, you say, I take refuge together with all sentient beings. So one thing for sure we are saying, or we are not saying is, it's not as if you can take refuge and someone else mysteriously has taken refuge. You eating, you will get full. Somebody else doesn't get full. In fact, if somebody else is watching you eat, they might actually get very hungry. But here, again, it's when we say that all beings, is to transform our perception of other beings. And in doing that, there is, again, some kind of interdependence that you are creating as a condition to affect, to bring about other beings taking refuge. So again, you cannot create a cause for someone else, but you can provide a condition for someone else's cause to ripen. So this goes back to how Buddha's explanation of karma is not as kind of rigid or straightforward as yes, no. Yeah? Because there are very subtle interdependence going on. Causes and conditions. So whereas we cannot be someone else's cause of happiness or suffering, we definitely can provide someone else's conditions for happiness or suffering. Just understanding this part about karma, just ourselves understanding this part of karma, then our lives, can become less messy. So when you want to help someone, especially someone you care a lot about, parents towards their children, or children towards their aging parents. Aging parents kind of go back to being kids. I have a friend, who's working at a nursing home, and then also kind of observing, just recently observing a toddler walking, and this friend said, this toddler walking and the people I see at the place I work walking, it's the same way they walk. It's like, It's like they can't start. Once they start, it cannot kind of stop. You've got to just keep going and go one circle. So especially when we care for those, we try to help those that we care for. We have to understand, we cannot create causes for them. At most, we can provide conditions for them. And of course, if we don't provide conditions for them, then their causes might not ripen soon enough. So we do what we can, but we also know where we cannot force things to happen. So then we went on to look at the homage to the Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat. I explained how Arhat is used in these texts. So Arhat here is used as an epithet, as one of the titles that describe the qualities of fully awakened ones. In common usage of the word Arhat, we are talking about those with the limited motivation. But if you want to be more accurate or more, following the vocabulary use, those are often called, in the Indo-Tibetan Buddhist text, Shravakas. The hearers, Shravakas. Shravakas. So anyway, Arhat here is a quality of the Buddha. And it's glossed as, is translated into Tibetan as Drajompa. Vanquished is Jompa. Dra is enemies. Those who have vanquished the enemies. The enemies of kleshas, afflictive emotions. The completely perfect Buddha Shakyamuni. Yeah. So now are the names of the other 34 Buddhas and their qualities. Today we did that section of paying homage. Their specific qualities of purifying, how they work, or the power of their vows. Those are described there. Then let's go to page 53 at the bottom. All these and all the Tathagatas, Arhats, however, so the translation here I would modify a little bit and says all these and all the other Tathagatas who are Arhats, who are also Arhats. All these and all the other Tathagatas who are Arhats, however many perfectly complete Buddhas who abide in all the worlds of the 10 directions. So in all the worlds of the 10 directions, there are Buddhas. Some of these Buddhas are clearly manifesting in a way that Buddha Shakyamuni manifested in our world more than 2,500 years ago. As a full Buddha in all the Buddha activities. Some of these other Buddhas manifest in a different way. But in the Mahayana understanding and viewpoint, Buddhas don't disappear. Right? Even when Buddhas manifest, we say manifest the appearance of passing away, they're not gone. But they're not here the way you and I are here. You and I are here in a very limited way. You and I are here in a very constricted way. You and I are here without much power, without much freedom. Buddhas are here in a completely different way. And in the way that Buddhas are here, they are never gone. Because they also don't go the way you and I go. So on the Mahayana level of understanding, the Buddhas are always abiding in all the worlds of the 10 directions. So this is, again, these terms, Mahayana, Hinayana, they are not used in a sectarian way. We're not talking about other Buddhist traditions. We're talking about levels of understanding within this tradition. At the top of 54, in this and former lives without beginning. So the scope of this practice is not only looking at this life. We are including all the formal lifetimes, which is said to be without beginning. There's no starting point to this. In terms of years and lifetimes, there's no starting point. There is a starting point from the perspective of the mechanics of confusion. Then the starting point is confusion. Yeah? But in terms of time and lifetimes, the past is beginningless. So from now, from this life, to former lives without beginning, in all the states of birth within samsara. Samsara is not a place. Neither is nirvana a place. Samsara and nirvana are two modes of existence. Two ways of being. Personally, I think there is no more succinct as well as complete, as well as profound, presentation of what is samsara, what is nirvana, what is the problem, what is the solution, than the introduction of the jewel ornament. Gampopa's introduction, I'm not talking about, translator's introduction or editor's introduction. Gampopa's introduction to the jewel ornament lays it out very clearly. No flowery words, no poetic words, but very succinct, very directly. So those of you who have the Jewel Ornament of Liberation, whatever translation you have, there are three major translations available today. If you're a real nerd, certified nerd, you have all three. Then you read This section, this one, this section, this, same section, this translation, same section, this translation, right? Then you can see all the possibilities of how to translate the section. Yeah? Because every translation is an interpretation. Yeah? There is no language that goes from one to one. Not only that, the same language 500 years ago, 5,000 years ago, has belonged to different contexts. So every reading is an interpretation. So when you have three, we're so fortunate to have three good in their own ways, translations of the jewel ornament. If you are going to be a super geek, you're already very geeky if you're reading the jewel ornament. Might as well claim that, label proudly, I'm a geek, now I'm going to be a super geek. All three translations, okay? But the very beginning, the introduction of jewel ornament lays out so clearly. And I would argue my position is like all the flowery poetics that you find, especially like in Dzogchen explanations of how all of this came to be, is right there in Gampopa's jewel ornament. The Gampopa doesn't teach Dzogchen, teach Chakchen Mahamudra. But if you read Gampopa, it's right there. Where there's confusion, what is confusion? How do you end confusion? What is freedom from confusion? How do you get there? All is there. So anyway, so samsara is not a place. Samsara is a mode of being. So now we are circling in samsara. Just within this day, this night, we are circling in samsara. We are wandering in samsara. So we call wandering beings. So I have committed evil deeds. I have committed evil deeds. So here, evil, unskillful, negative, they're all variations of the same point, the same quality, which is deeds that bring suffering, bring pain to ourselves and to others. Deeds, actions that have harmed ourselves and harmed others. So here in this text, it lays out three ways, It's based on other places Buddha taught this too. Three ways that we accumulate negative karma. Doing it yourself, this is the first one. I have committed them. Then, inciting, instigating, encouraging others to do it. Third, rejoiced in. Like, yay! Or when we see someone doing something negative, and we're like, very good. These are three ways we accumulate negativity. So various section, this formula is repeated. I have done them. I have encouraged others. I have incited others. I have instigated others to do them. And I have found joy in them doing it. Then now, specific examples are given here. Stolen the wealth of stupas. I've done it myself, encourage others to do it, or found joy, pleasure in knowing that someone is doing it. Here, stupas mean not just stupas, right? Well, particularly stupas, but also monasteries, nunneries. Yeah? These places dedicated to the practice of Dharma. So it will extend to now, Dharma centers. I have stolen from them. Yeah? To steal is to take without permission. So people are very careful, especially like in traditional Buddhist cultures. From young, people, we are taught, like when we go to a temple, we go to a monastery, we go to a nunnery. We're very careful not to use the resources of the monastery or the nunnery unless we really have to. And definitely unless, it's explicitly whoever is responsible for that place, whether the monks, the nuns, or the people taking care of the place say, please have this. For sure, we don't. And even when it is offered, culturally especially, there is a sense of, I better leave something here so that I'm not taking from the place, because it could constitute a form of stealing, and to steal from stupas, from monasteries, nunneries, retreat centers is really negative. Why? Because there are many reasons. One of them, they said that the way that such a place gets its support is from many, many people. And many, many people with many, many of their aspirations, of their hopes, of their wishes. And so when you steal, you are effectively stealing from all those who are making, who have contributed to the place. So by extension, I would say this could even apply to like non-profits that are existing, right, for a greater good. Got to be careful not to steal from, not to take from them, because so many other people's wishes, aspirations are involved in that. So that even taking a pencil, stealing a pencil, have vast implications, karmically speaking. So those who run temples, monasteries, nunneries, Buddhist centers, it's good for us, I also feel, to maintain this attitude of kind of like offering the place to everyone. Yeah, what I mean by that is, if somebody accidentally steals something, or unknowingly take without permission something, they're not completing 100% negative karma of stealing, because you have already given. So it's an act of compassion. Those who take care of temples, monasteries, nunneries, I think it's good. Buddhist centers to each day say, all of this is to be given to whoever needs it. So when people, we have had thefts at the Dharma center. It happens, even in monasteries, nunneries, they get looted. Even in Asia now. Of course, we do our best to, as custodians of the place, we have to guard it, we have to set our alarm, all of that, we do that. But also, we should have the attitude of And if it happens, it's okay because I've offered it to whoever who needs this. Yeah. Anyway, so here, stolen from the wealth of stupas, meaning the resources for maintaining the stupas. Yeah. I have from the Sangha community. Here is talking about the monastic community, especially the one that you live with. So this text is originally taught by Buddha, I remember, to his monks. He gave this, he said, you practice this. So he's saying, if you live in a monastic community and you have stolen, taken without permission, or the Sangha of the 10 directions now is talking about not just your particular community, but other communities or practitioners that you have taken from, that you have encouraged others to take from. Yeah. I have incited others to steal and found joy in their thefts. So this is the first kind of specific example context given in this practice. So with regards to like a remedy, other than doing this, for each of these, there are the counter. There is the unskillful actions, then there's the skillful actions in relation to this. So instead of stealing, taking without permission from stupas, from monasteries, nunneries, retreat centers, we do what we can to support, to repair stupas, to build stupas, to maintain stupas. To give to the community, to support the community. So those are, like you could say, the restitution part that we can give. Yeah. And the Sangha of the 10 directions. So beyond our own spiritual community, our own center, our own temple, our own nunnery, our own retreat center, to give further as well. That's the part of the remedy. That's part of the restitution. Yeah. So today, I think we will stop at this point. Then we'll continue the commentary or looking at some of the details in this practice later. So please turn to page 59 at the very top. So according to the sadhana, in this third section, you make another offering at the end. It's called the offering of gratitude. And this is almost like, in the beginning we make offerings, then we do the confession, then we have our karma purified, and as a result of having purified the karma, now we again make offerings and praise to the 35 Buddhas and thank them. An offering of gratitude. So starting on page 59, I'm going to chant this section. You make an offering with the mantra, followed by verses of homage to each of the 35 Buddhas. So I'm going to chant this section, but starting first in English at the very top so that you know what is being said. And then the mantra, then the rest is chanting the names of the Buddhas. May the material offerings of gods and humans, both visualized and actually arranged, outer, inner, secret, and unsurpassed, pervade the vastness of space. Namo Ranarayaya, Namo Bhagavate Vajrasara Paramadani Tathagataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Bhadre Bhadre Maha Bhadre Maha Tejo Bhadre Maha Vidya Bhadre Maha Bodhi Chitta Bhadre Maha Bodhi Mandopa Sankramana Bhadre Sava Karma Avarana Vishodhana Bhadre Soha.
tukene chanju jeba chobe se drola gyoba damba damja be demba kunla jase lo tuba donjo nima den dorje nimpo rabdu jo rinjen odo lo wangya awo de che chase lo 벽에 림chen meda o tongwa doyo rinchen da drime bajin changbada changjin chula che chase chule la dang pel zang chu zenden pel dang zi taye o pel nyangye me pe pe seme burje chase lo me to pel dang zuang nam ro peme oze ngombar gen no pel dang ni Rimpe pe sempe yonda che chase wangpoi todang nambara no yule namgyo non she pe gunang rinchen pe ma no riwang gyao che chase lo choyo me to po marmi richa shase romo trim pendu gyao che namsa so chodrin gyao so dagi chue dagi ludang loncho dang dusun gewe ngobo na semchen kungi dongi che gube ke la burwa gi kune zikpe chen den pa yone dampa ke nam ki dala sebe nyengong ne dagi dida shesu so namora na traya ya namo bhagavate bhaja sara paramadani tadanga daya arahate samyasam bodaya deyata bhaja bhaja mahate jo bhaja Mahabhidya Bhaja Mahabodhi Siddha Bhaja Mahabodhi Nando Bhasankha Amana Bhaja Savakarma Avarana Vishodhana Bhajre Soha. Please go to the top of page 63. Please act according to the pledge you took when you engaged in bodhisattva deeds, and thus purify the negativities and downfalls of myself and other beings. By apprehending your name, by repeating, calling it again and again, I supplicate you to purify, exhaust, and cleanse entirely the negativities, downfalls, and obscurations of all wandering beings. In these evil times, sentient beings' actions are degraded, impure and unawakened. Our minds are suffused with negative emotions. Our offerings are scanty. They are marred by stains and other faults. Please forgive us all mistakes. Then the auspicious verses on page 64. The light of boundless compassion clears away the evil states and dispels demonic forces, hindrances, and hosts of wickedness. May the splendid power of the victorious ones, equal to 100,000 suns, bring forth the happiness and fortune of infinite living beings. The stream of nectar flowing from the immaculate Dharmadhatu space fully cleanses the stains of evil tendencies. May the splendid power of the holy Dharma of the cessation and path bring forth the happiness and fortune of infinite living beings. In order to eliminate the endless torment of cyclic existence, you have not abandoned the heavy burden of your vows and aspirations. May the splendid power of the ocean of great and noble bodhisattvas bring forth the happiness and fortune of infinite living beings. The Sukhavati aspiration prayer now. So a lot of beings, human and non-human, going through the transition from this to future lifetimes. So we dedicate our practice to them so that they will make a connection and attain liberation by being born first in Buddha Amitabha's Pure Land, and from there progress along the path swiftly to eliminate all confusion and to perfect the two accumulations of merit and wisdom. Deki ngosa pakdu me paye dewa chense shawe shinkamde dakshen dine sebo gyurmata kewa sengi parma choparu deru kene nante shodron sho deke dagi monlam tabadi chochu sanje changsen tamje ki keme rupa jinji lamtu so Taya ta pancha griya awa bodhanaya soha Changchu semcho rinpoche Magye banam ge gyuche Geba nyampa me bayang Gone gongdu belwar sho. So here we are done for today's practice, and as previous days, I'll leave a few minutes in case you have any questions or comments.
Dr. Lai?
Mm-hmm.
Just a question. When we cycle through all the 35 Buddhas, you just see how beautiful they all are. And also, one thing that is striking is that they're all different colors. And I'm wondering whether all the different colors is sort of a metaphor for, or you can think of it as a metaphor for like diversity of sentient beings.
Definitely. So these are, they are also related to the fact that I think it's to communicate, Buddhas exist in many realms, but looking from where we are looking, they look like this. And the template is, of course, Buddha Shakyamuni as the template. But insofar as Buddhas are concerned, their forms are unfathomable, cannot be fathomed. Yeah. So definitely we think of it as the diversity of all the different colors, different shades. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the color related to a Buddha family? Or
You can say that too, but not necessarily, because some of these colors here are not part of the 5 colors. Yeah, like whitish red, whitish black.
There's like a pink one as well.
Yeah, the pink is actually whitish red.
Right.
Yes. Whitish red. I remember one time, I was arguing with a Kempo, like whitish red, pink. I said, in English, we have a word for that. That's called pink. I was like, no, it's not pink. And slowly I understood, okay, it's actually not pink. It's red, yeah. It's a kind of red that has this white sheen. Yeah, so it's about colors. So it's whitish red. I'm like, whitish red? I was like, in English, I was a little, being facetious. I was like, I don't know about Tibetan, but in English, we have a word for that. We call it pink. He was like, I know there is pink, but it's not pink. Yeah, we have an artist. I usually don't see what's going on in the chat, but I see Melissa, who is an art professor, it's like, it's light versus pigment. Yeah, see? Yeah, Melissa is like, yeah, of course it's whitish red, it's not pink. Like the Kempo said to me, no, it's not pink.
I also think it might have something to do with like politically what's going on in the U.S. today, with all the people pulling apart from each other, and it's nice to have everything
together. Absolutely.
Yeah, the way we kind of help us to, translate into our context. Yes, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
The colors are superficial. They all have Buddha nature.
Yeah, well, this is the two truths. So we do not go in either extremes. If we just say Buddha nature, then we also don't recognize that on the relative level, there are all sorts of samsara for all sorts of people.
But the Buddha nature is sort of like what unites everything.
Yes. So this is this is not a monistic system. A monistic system reduces everything to the one. This is a non-dual system. So always holding intention in some ways. The diversity of beings and the diversity of needs and the diversity of circumstances. And on that basis, we can generate love and compassion. Then that love and compassion cannot go to the extreme of forgetting that it's Buddha nature, it's empty. Then the empty and the Buddha nature cannot go in the direction of saying, oh, it's all one. What's your problem? Not going into either of the extremes. That's the Buddha's way. So much of especially in Jigong Kagyu, Jigten Sumgön's life, his practice, his retreats, when he first realized what he thought was the realization, it was a realization of emptiness, of Buddha nature. And he thought, yeah, I got it, Then his teacher said, not yet. And he was like, there is more? The teacher was like, yeah, not yet. Then his teacher passed. Then he continued to receive instructions from his teacher's senior disciples. Then he went into retreat. Then during the retreat, he began to see diversity. Yeah? He began to see the diversities of sufferings of beings. And then he started to see more and more the diversity of sufferings. Oh, then the realizations that came very powerfully. In fact, 7 years divided into 2 periods. In the middle, he left his retreat to go get more instructions and came back. Then the second period of his 7-year period, the second period, when he started to understand the diversity of samsara and all the karmas involved, it says that it ripened in such a way that he contracted leprosy, which in their time is like getting AIDS and cancer and COVID all enrolled into one. Meaning it's not just suffering, but also there's a lot of shame associated with it. And so it says in his biography that he would, even at that point, he was ashamed. He thought, what did I do wrong? What would people who are supporting me think about this? He was very honest in his biography, saying how he felt about it. So he wanted to go get help. He wanted to go get more instructions to clear this problem, but he was afraid that people will see him and what they will think of him. And also he was concerned that they might give up hope, on Dharma, because they thought so highly of him, and he contracted leprosy. Then he suffered so much with the leprosy, and then finally it says the final realization was when he could see how from within emptiness, from within the state of Buddha nature, all the interdependences manifest. It said that only at that point he achieved Buddha. And it's like, oh, wow. So in some ways it is, right now we are bewildered by the diversity, all the differences, all the, manifold manifestations. We get carried away by all these things. Differences that we like, differences that we don't like. We get carried away by that. And so we need to practice more emptiness, so to say. But actually, the practice of realizing emptiness turns out is only a stepping point, especially from the Mahayana perspective. Because if you just realize the emptiness part and do not realize the interdependence part, then it's incomplete. And so in the Mahayana teachings, it says Shravakas and Parteka Buddhas, right? Shravaka Buddhas and Parteka Buddhas, their realization is limited because they got to the point of emptiness. They have not yet understood how within that emptiness, everything manifests from there. And manifests according to the principles of cause and effect without any error, without any conflict. And from this perspective, we understand that is that if we don't also, if we're not able to see the interdependence that gives rise to all the differences, all the diversity, then we are stuck in what is known as the peace of nirvana. You remember this phrase? Yeah, yesterday somebody asked this question. Because in the refuge formula, it says, may I be free from both. The confused wandering of samsara and the limited peace, so-called peace of nirvana. It's the lopsided, quote-unquote, realization of emptiness. Other questions, comments?
Did the guy ever get his leprosy cured? Whoever it
What
was.
guy?
The guy that got leprosy?
That's Jigten Sungan.
Yeah, did he ever get it? Did he ever get cured?
Yeah, that's how we have our lineage master, the source of Digun Kagyu.
Okay.
Not just some dude. This is the founder of the lineage.
Okay. I'll tell you. When it comes to lamas, Tibetan Lama titles or Tibetan Lama names, I need a face. I need
Yeah. I know. We're talking about. Of course, his leprosy got cured. He's the origin of the lineage. Otherwise, if it didn't get cured, we won't have the lineage today.
Yeah, I thought it'd be Marpa or Belaripa, but anyway.
Jigten Sumgan, founder of Drigong Kagyu. You have been Drigong Kagyu for long enough.
Yeah. Also, I'll give you the title of Super Geek on the Jewel Ornament.
Yes. Proudly claim it.
Dr. Lai.
Yes.
I have a question about the abbreviated daily practice. I've noticed that it does not contain the offering cloud Dharani, and I would like to insert that someplace if that would be permissible, but I don't really know where to put it in the abbreviated copy.
Yes. So, this is, as I say, these texts are flexible enough. And of course, yes, if you don't know where to put it, then it becomes kind of upside down and a little clunky. So if you want to include that in your daily practice, for those of you who want to, then after where we normally do at the top of page 6, right? For this purpose, I shall make offerings to the 35 Buddhas, having invoked their heart pledge. I shall engage in the practice of confessing downfalls. Right there, right? Then it says the objects of refuge dissolve into me. Right there. There. Then this next section is the consecration and blessing of the offerings. If you have time, you do all of these lines here. If you don't, then that's when you insert the Dharani. That's on page 9, which is at the end of that section.
Okay.
That section of blessing the offerings. Yeah? Then you do the dharani there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, page 9.
Dr. Lai,
Mm-hmm.
a quick question on purification of.
Yes.
I feel like I seem to recall reading that you can't get or a bad seed won't bear good fruit. I seem to have heard that before.
A what?
Like a bad seed won't bear good fruit.
Yes.
Karmically speaking.
Of course.
So is the purification
You destroy the seed.
process of transforming?
You destroy the seed.
You're destroying the seed. Okay.
Yes.
So it's not a matter of transforming or expediting.
No.
Okay.
No. You cannot transform. As I explained, like the choice of using the word purify is a little clunky.
Yeah.
So I prefer now to use clearing, karmic obscurations. You clear, you destroy, you get rid. I use the analogy of laundry, you know?
Yes, yes.
You say you can purify, as in cleanse your cloth, but you don't clean dirt. Dirt is dirt.
Sure.
You know, grime is grime.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Sometimes
Yeah,
I
you
get
separate.
confused. Maybe it's
You separate.
expediting process. You're
Right.
quickening the ripening.
Sometimes that's how it happens. You quicken the ripening and you diffuse the ripening. Sometimes is you get rid. Depending on how heavy, how powerful, how strong that seed is. Some seeds can be destroyed easily. Some seeds, no matter how you burn it, you know, somehow it sprouts. But when it sprouts,
this only pertains to negative seeds, correct?
well, positive seeds can be destroyed too. Yeah, Shantideva, for example, the most famous one, it says, one moment of anger, you know, is capable of destroying so much good.
Okay, so the intention here is specifically for negative seeds at this point.
Oh yeah, here, yeah, of course. You're not confessing, you know, you're rejoicing in the good you have done. You're not confessing the good you have done. Sorry for helping that grandma, you know. Let me burn that good seed away.
All right. So destroying seeds. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, but also, as you said, you know, minimizing, weakening the seed. Ultimately, if you can destroy the seed, that's the best. But if you cannot, you can weaken it. Yeah.
But not transform, correct? You can't go.
Not transform. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, poetically, there is the expression of transform.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, you know.
If you got that license.
Yeah, but if you think it through, you know, then the three poisons are the three poisons. But you can, and I think like for practical reasons, you know, without getting all philosophical and technical, you know, what's the point of like effectively, what do you mean by transforming, right?
Well, I guess the outcome would almost.
Yeah, exactly. The outcome is what's important. So abandon. Yeah. Yeah. For me, you know, there's a lot of, you know, very poetic expressions in all these different Buddhist texts, different traditions, especially when you get to Mahamudra, when you get to Dzogchen, you know, all of that. I say, you know, yes, of course there's all those things, but then what is your reality? What is my reality? My reality, I know how to abandon the 10 non-virtues.
It'd be easier than transforming them.
Yeah, transforming them. Well, what does that mean? I don't know. And maybe some consolation, you know, when I'm really angry and pissed off, you know, and I'm not willing to abandon, I say, oh, I now transform my anger. Oh, you know. Bachapani, blah, 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 you know, Mahakala, blah, 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 and you think, oh, I'm transforming, you know. Really? Really transforming? I don't know about that. Maybe some consolation. I'm not convinced that's transforming. To let go. Gosh, like, you know, this anger is so painful, right? Now unclench. Now unclench. Just back off, back off, back off. I'm going to walk away from this. That I know what that means. That I know how to do. Even if, you know, stubbornly when I'm suffering, I don't want to do. I also know that. But for me, I'm not speaking for anybody else. For me, it's a lot easier to, not just a lot easier, but I actually can see the fruits of to let it go, abandon. Not like, abandon. Yeah? And not suppress either. But seeing clearly, it's gone. And in that way, it's poetically, again, in you know, higher teachings, you know, Mahamudra, Dzogchen, whatever, there's things like, you know, they say, you become free by just seeing. Yeah, but that's poetically, you know, as in, yeah, when you really see suffering as suffering, you let go. Right? So it's not that different in the end. They're all talking about the same process. Here is a matter of what language and what expression is most conducive to us actually experiencing that result. So therefore, all the great masters all say, you know, all the traditions, Maha Ati, Maha Mudra, Maha Madhyamaka, right? Those of you who know this vocabulary, the result is exactly the same. Because there's only one way of letting go. The result of letting go is the same. Then the question is, what language, what expression is most conducive to us experiencing it? For me, it's about abandoning, giving up, letting go. So today, we stop here. And you all have a good day, a good evening, a good night, good dreams, maybe, you know, some signs of purification. Don't be disappointed if you don't dream those things, you know, because more importantly is how we are. Yeah. Okay. Ta-ta.
Thank you, Dr.
Gracias
Lee.
a todos. Gracias. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.